a live look into the locker room as we get ready for Fostoria's last home game before the playoffs. Welcome to the Iron Triangle. The Iron Triangle in Fostoria, Ohio. In northern Ohio, north of Galloway, north of Columbus, and of course, north of Dayton. Fostoria has been great. Take a look at the standings, though. For the East, Danville sits in third. This one is going to be a good one. These two teams have the talent. Let's make the starting five. With the with the Pioneers, they have Jamer Davis, Brandon Day, Michael Addison, Cole Flick, and Britton Thomas. And for the Railroaders, they have Jacob Chalet, Dane Caldwell, Jason Garner Jr., Justin Curry, and Aiden Woods. We are underway here from Fostoria. Here's Jamer Davis. He has the ball. Davis has it. Pass to Day. Day now to Flick. To Addison. Addison there to Davis. Now it's Davis. And it will bounce off the head, I think, of Addison. Railroaders ball. Here we go. Fostoria now will have the ball for the first time tonight. Here's Caldwell with it. Caldwell has it. Back to Chalet. Chalet to Gardner Jr. Gardner to Chalet. Here's Jacob Chalet back to Gardner. Jason will miss. Davis with the rebound. Jamer Davis with the rebound. Pass to Flick. Full Flick goes up. He will miss. Chalet with the rebound. Chalet back to Caldwell. Here's Dane Caldwell. He's going to be entering the free agency, so someone's going to pick up a really good player. Here's Caldwell. He looks. Back going. There, Gardner will lose the ball. Here's Brandon Day. Day with it now. Back to Davis. Jamer Davis with it. Getting covered now. Here's Thomas. Britton Thomas now. Thomas. Britton Thomas will miss the two. Caldwell with the rebound. Now here's Caldwell back to Gardner. Gardner back to Caldwell. Dane Caldwell for two. Finally, points in this one. Now, here we go. Here's Cole Flick. Flick back to Addison. Addison to Day. Brandon Day with it. Back to Davis. Jamer Davis for three. And the Danville Pioneers are up by one. Here's Caldwell. He has the ball. Caldwell back to Curry. Curry to Woods. Aiden Woods with the one-handed slam. Now here's Davis. Davis looks. Now it's Day. Brandon Day to Flick. Back to Davis. Now it's Day. Brandon Day misses. Gardner to Curry. Justin Curry goes up for two. Here is Davis. He has the ball. Back to Flick. Here's Flick. He looks strong, covered by Curry. Flick looking to score. He's trying to. He holds it. Now it's Davis. Jamer Davis, pass to Day. Brandon Day misses a three. Woods rebound. Gardner back to Caldwell. Caldwell with the slam. Dane Caldwell with the slam. And the Railroaders are pulling away in this one. 8-3. Day back to Davis. Davis to Addison. Addison almost loses it. Addison to Davis. Jamer Davis for three. Timeout, Fostoria. The Railroaders will call a timeout, and it's 8-6. We welcome you back to Fostoria. Take a look at the league leaders and opponent points given up per game this season. How about the Arrows and the Thunder 1 and 2? Now we take a look back to this game. The Railroaders up by 2 in this one. It's 8-6. Here's Fostoria. Now it's Curry. Curry back to Walker. Levi Walker misses. Almost a rebound, tipped out of bounds. It's Danville ball. Tipped out of bounds. It will be Pioneers basketball. In Danville, there is also a high school team called the Danville Warriors. I get them too mixed up. Curry steals it away to Cunningham with the slam. 3 dunks in tonight's game by 3 different players by Fostoria. Here's Swafford. Back to Elkins. Now it's Michael Addison. Addison to Swafford. Chase Swafford. Misses a 3. Woods to Cunningham. Cunningham to Gardner. Gardner has it. Jason Gardner Jr. for 3. The train whistles are blowing inside the stadium as Gardner hit that 3. Here's Day. Brandon Day looks back to Swafford, and Swafford for 3. Now here's Cunningham. Cunningham with it. Looks back to Walker. Levi Walker looking strong here. Walker goes up, misses. Swafford with the rebound. Here's Cade Elkins. Elkins with it. Cade Elkins misses a 3. Gardner with the rebound. Gardner to Cunningham. It's Kirby with the slam. Justin Curry with the slam. Here's Brandon Day. He looking to keep it himself. Hangs on to the basketball. Curry looks for 2. He will score. Now here's Walker. Walker keeps it himself. Looks to throw. Back to Cunningham. Trey Cunningham will miss a 3. 4-point game here in the first. After the first quarter, Pioneers down by 4. Now here we go. Now here's Levi Walker. Walker has the ball. Here's Walker. Pass to Chalet. Jacob Chalet for 2. Logan Scott back to Davis. Davis, big pass to Swafford, who slams it in. Swafford slams it in on Chalet. Here's Levi Walker. Walker with it for 2. Now here's Swafford. Now here's Savants. Bryce Savants with it. Savants has it. Savants looks. Trying to keep it himself. Trying to get a 3 here. Now he goes inside. Inside the arc. Inside the paint. Savants tries to keep it. Big defense there. Now it's Logan Scott who will miss. Quentin Gill rebound. Now it's Cunningham. Cunningham with it. Trey Cunningham has it. Cunningham there for 3. Miss. Now here is Davis. Jamer Davis goes up. Will not score. Cunningham rebound. Now here's Chalet. Back to Walker. Walker steps back. Cunningham and Chalet are open. But Walker keeps it himself. He will score. Railroaders pulling away. Here's Elkins. Timeout Pioneers. Back live from Fostoria, Ohio, the Iron Triangle. This place is famous for the CSX trains and the Norfolk Southerns. Same as the old B&O, the old Baltimore and Ohio Railroad that goes through Fostoria, Ohio. Now, they have a team. Here's Davis. Davis, there. Has it back to Swafford. Swafford has it back to Day. Brandon Day. Back to Davis. Jamer Davis will miss the three. Walker with the rebound. Now here's the two. Chalet for two. It is a 10-point lead for the Railroaders. Now here's Brandon Day. Day has it back to Davis. Jamer Davis misses the three. Curry rebound. Now it's Chalet. Here's Chalet back to Cunningham. Cunningham to Caldwell. Caldwell holds it. Here's Dane Caldwell. He looks up. He's gonna score. Now here's Davis. Now, here we go, Swafford. Swafford trying to go up and score. Now it's Flick. Back to Elkins. Cade Elkins misses the three. Here's Cunningham. Trey Cunningham to Caldwell. He will put it in for two. And the Railroaders are going off in this one. A town rich in history of all of the trains, the active rail yard, the Iron Triangle, now has a team right by the rail yard, and the Railroaders have the lead 27-13. Now, back from Fostoria. Take a look at the rookies. The free throw percentage the last 30 days. Trey Shelsky for the Greyhounds lead that list. Now, folks, here we go again. Flick has the ball. That was that well-needed rest timeout for the Pioneers, or not. Here's Elkins. Elkins has the ball. Elkins goes up. He will miss. Caldwell with the rebound. Here's Gill. Quentin Gill back to Caldwell. Caldwell now back to Gill. Here's Q. Back to Caldwell. Dane Caldwell back to Gill. Quentin Gill for two. Put it in for two, Quentin. Gill for two. Here's Elkins. Elkins back to Day. Brandon Day with it. Here's Scott. Logan Scott again. Back to Day. Day to Elkins. Elkins. Now it's Addison. Now it's Day. Now it's Elkins. Again. Again misses. Gardner with the rebound. Gardner. Now, here's Cunningham. Misses. Flick rebound. Here's Elkins again. Elkins. He looks covered by Cunningham. Here's Day. Now it's Elkins. Elkins again covered by Cunningham. Elkins goes up, trying to score. He gets in close and is stolen by Quentin Gill. Now here's Justin Curry, puts it in for 2. The Railroaders cannot be stopped tonight. Elkins. Timeout Danville. The Pioneers down 31-13. We know for a fact now there is a green light for Fostoria. Now, we welcome you back to Fostoria, where the guys are going off here tonight. Here we go again from Fostoria. Chalet is out there. How about Jacob Chalet tonight? Looking really good. Now, here's Addison. Getting covered by Gardner. Now it's Flick. Flick has it. It's Addison again. Michael Addison looks. Thomas is out there as well. Addison goes up. Back to Thomas. Thomas looking to keep it himself. He does. He will finally score. The Pioneers will finally score. Here's Dane Caldwell. Caldwell with it. He's going to hold on to the ball himself. Now Caldwell takes it himself. He will go up. He will score again. The Railroaders cannot be stopped. Brandon Day for 3. He will drain the 3. Pioneers scoring. Caldwell, 3, no good. It's an air ball. And after the first half, it's all Fostoria in this one. The Railroaders up 33-18. Let's send it out. Back to the Nova Rain halftime show. It's a Nova Rain halftime show in this one. We welcome you back to the halftime show. Take a look at the Eastern Conference standings. The Pioneers sit in 3rd in the standings to the Thunder and the Racers. What can we say? But the Racers are looking strong with Jonathan Stevenson at the helm. Same as Cooper Dunbar. Dunbar has been a nice addition to that team. Once again, the story goes, the CSKN NBA took over for the NBA after they technically shut down with a fight. They shut down with a fight. The NBA did, but the CSKN NBA took over. The Thunder and the Racers were the first 2 teams on the scene. Once again, they were not that good, and then everybody else started showing up. Now here we are with Danville and Fostoria. The Pioneers lead it. The Pioneers down 33-18. Pioneers are losing. We welcome you back to the Iron Triangle, the home of the Railroaders. The Railroaders look really good here tonight. look at Dane Caldwell's night. He's looked really fun and really active. A lot of shots inside the paint for him, inside the arc, near the basket. Now, here's Curry. Gives it to Chalet. Chalet with it. Back to Caldwell. Now it's Gardner. Gardner to Curry. Curry holds it. Now here's Caldwell. Dane Caldwell has the ball. He looks for two. He does not make it. It's Britton Thomas. Addison now with it. Addison keeping it himself, almost losing it. Here's Thomas. Misses. Now here's Curry. Curry with it. Now it's Chalet. Chalet to Gardner. Jason Gardner Jr. will miss a three. Now here's Day. Brandon Day with it. Back to Flick. Flick back to Day. Brandon Day for three.
3 points.
Now here's Gardner. Now it's Chalet again. Chalet has the ball. He looks very strong. Gardner there for three, no good. Addison now with it. Here's Davis. Jamer Davis will score. Here comes the Pioneers. Danville down by 10. Chalet has it. Jacob Chalet will miss the three. Thomas with the rebound. Davis now with it. Now here's Thomas. Britton Thomas with it. Handoff to Day. Day to Thomas with the slam. Fostoria is losing all momentum. Here's Caldwell. Back to Chalet. Chalet has the ball now. Chalet looks. Back to Caldwell. Dane Caldwell for three. And the momentum has shifted back to the middle. Here's Jamer Davis. Back to Flick. Now it's Michael Addison. Day. Brandon Day. Misses. Curry rebound. Justin Curry keeps it. Now it's Caldwell. Back to Chalet. Jacob Chalet for three. 39-25. Jacob Chalet has been outstanding from three. Here's Flick. Back to Davis. Davis there. Addison, now it's Davis. Back to Day. Now it's Michael Addison. Michael Addison keeps it. Fake shot. Now it's Day. Back to Davis. Jamer Davis. He will miss the three. Now it's Curry. Pass to Chalet. Chalet for two. And the Railroaders are back in action. Davis has the ball. Davis Addison, quick pass back to Day. Brandon Day to Flick. Cole Flick looking to keep it himself. Back to Day. Brandon Day with it. Goes up with the slam on Dane Caldwell. Brandon Day with a huge dunk. Dunks it on Caldwell's head. Caldwell gives it to Chalet. The crowd quiets up. Chalet with it. Now here's Curry. Pass from Gardner. Now it's Caldwell. Back to Gardner. Gardner to Chalet. Jacob Chalet again for three. Timeout Danville. Jacob Chalet is hitting those threes, and Danville is losing all hope. Back live from Fostoria, the Western Conference standings. Third place is Fostoria. They've been within second for the past few days. They've been really good. Coming up this weekend, the last game before the playoffs for Fostoria as they go to Gulf Shores. Here is Michael Addison. Addison. Here is Day. Brandon Day with it. Brandon Day misses a three. Woods rebound. High pass to Gardner. Gardner Jr. for two. Make it 46-27. The rebounds. Danville has none. Here's Davis. Back to Swafford. Swafford to Davis. Jamer Davis with it. Here's Day. Brandon Day misses. Chalet with the rebound again. Chalet to Cunningham. Cunningham has been great on offense. Trey Cunningham for three. Exactly what I just said. 3 points tonight. Both teams have 5 threes, but the Railroaders are 5 for 13. Thomas back to Day. Brandon Day misses the three. Here's Curry. Curry to Cunningham. Cunningham to Woods. Here's Aiden Woods. And off to Cunningham. Woods. Now it's Curry. Gardner. Now it's Curry again. Down to Chalet. Chalet misses a three. It's Day with the rebound. Now here's Davis. Davis for two. 20-point game in Fostoria. Cunningham from deep. Misses a three. 20-point game for the Railroaders. Fostoria, easy game here tonight. We welcome you back here to Fostoria. Quentin Gill is into the game. Here's Day giving it to Elkins. Cade Elkins now with the ball here. Elkins to Flick. Flick back to Day. It's Brandon Day. He looks strong. Day. There. Goes up, misses. It's Caldwell with the rebound. Here's Caldwell. Now it's Cunningham. To Curry. Back pass to Cunningham. Now it's Walker again. Walker back to Cunningham. Cunningham hand off to Caldwell. Dane Caldwell to Walker. Walker will miss the three. Flick with the rebound. Here's Brandon Day. Day looks, passes Swafford and Elkins. Here's Elkins. Has it himself. Looking back to Swafford. Chase Swafford for three. Here's Trey Cunningham with it. Cunningham has the ball. Back to Caldwell. Dane Caldwell for three. 52-32. 20-point advantage. Here's Elkins. Back to Swafford. Here's Swafford. And off to Day. Brandon Day looks. Pass to Flick. Now it's there. Missed by the Pioneers. Gill with the rebound. Gill back to Walker. Here's Levi Walker. Walker keeps it. Back to Caldwell. Dane Caldwell is hot tonight. He makes another three. Here's Cade Elkins. Elkins has the ball. No timeout by Danville. Bryce Savants for two.
Assistant number 50.
Now here's Caldwell. Caldwell with it. Timeout Fostoria. We welcome you back here to Fostoria. A great game going on, only for the Railroaders. Dane Caldwell is no question the player of the game tonight. He is no question the Nova Rain player of the game. Great game here tonight. Here's Woods. Back to Curry. Curry to Woods. Aiden Woods with the ball. Back to Chalet. Here's Justin Curry with it. Curry to Caldwell. Dane Caldwell has it. Caldwell for 2. Make it 57-34. Caldwell has 21 points tonight. Here's Jamer Davis. Back to Day. Here's Addison. Michael Addison with it. Addison to Flick. Pull. Flick. Will miss the 3. Gardner with the rebound. Gardner to Curry. Curry. Pass to Caldwell. Caldwell to Curry. Justin Curry for 2. If you remember, early in the year, Curry was on the Solar Flares. Orange Beach was really good with them. How about Evansville Hawks beating Rockville 80-28? Here's Cole Flick with it. Flick has the ball. Back to Day. Now it's Davis. Jamer Davis goes up. Misses. Woods rebound. Caldwell now has the ball. Caldwell looks. Going to score again. No, it's Chalet now. Chalet back to Gardner. Jason Gardner Jr. will miss the 3. It's Brenton Thomas with the rebound. Here's Jamer Davis. Pass to Addison. And the slam by Brenton Thomas. Now here's Caldwell. Caldwell to Chalet. Jacob Chalet from deep for 3. 62-36. Here's Davis. Here's Thomas now. Day with it. Now it's Davis. Jamer Davis misses. Gardner rebound. Gardner, big pass to Chalet. Chalet goes up. He will score. Make it 64-36. Here's Davis. Back to Thomas. Thomas goes up with the slam. Great dunk by Brenton Thomas. Here we go. Chalet back to Caldwell. Now it's Gardner. Jason Gardner Jr. with it. Pass to Caldwell. Caldwell goes up. He will score 66-38. Here is Jamer Davis with it. Time running out. Here is Addison. Michael Addison to Day. Brandon Day misses the 3. Here's Chalet. Jacob Chalet. Back to Caldwell. Time continues to run. Caldwell to Chalet. Chalet will go up. Stolen by Davis. Here's Addison. Addison to Flick. Cole Flick will finally score. Here's Caldwell, and just like that, Fostoria can hold on to it. Caldwell has it, and that will end this game. Fostoria wins 66-40. Massive blowout against the Danville Pioneers. Great game for the Railroaders.
Your support is what makes this possible.
Dane Caldwell is your Nova Rain player of the game.